2, 1. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the, we'll be in order. Welcome to the August 2024 meeting of the York City Zoning Hearing Board. We have one case this evening, so I kidded Nancy that I hoped she was ready for a long night. But that one case is just as important to us as all the rest. Let me introduce who we are. We're still hoping for one of the two members who haven't arrived yet. At your left, Blade Klein, who is an alternate but will be participating this evening, Corey Carden, Adam Nugent, and at the other end is Karen Brown, our stenographer, and I'm Franklin Williams. I chair the board right now. I don't think I need to go through all of the razzmatazz. Do you have a cell phone on you? Okay, that's good enough. We have one case. Now, did you say that Andy is on his way or what?
No, he's on. I'm right here. He's on the Zoom. He's on the wall.
He's on Zoom. He's here by Zoom on the
Well,
TV.
what are you doing up on the wall? All right, whatever. What, are we having an epidemic again?
He's on vacation.
He's on vacation. Well, then what are you doing fiddling with us? Good to see. Good to see you wherever you are. Are we going to perform normally? Are you going to introduce this case, or shall I?
I sure am. Before I do that, I just want to point out one thing. It was just brought to my attention that the agenda was not posted. I actually noticed that this morning as well when I was looking online. That is a technical violation of the Sunshine Act. And I just in the last 5 or so minutes did a little bit of legal research and
So Andy, I did advertise this case on the newspaper the 2 Sundays before, and so that doesn't matter either. I mean,
Well, so we would certainly, if somebody appealed this, Nancy, we would certainly make the argument that unlike, for example, a, well, that's a bad example too, because technically, under the Sunshine Act, an act can be invalidated. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. We would make an argument if this came before the court, that there was plenty of actual notice provided because, we met all of the requirements under the MPC. But again,
Right.
just in doing some quick research here, I did determine that one of the remedies is that it can be, invalidated, the action can in fact be invalidated, by a lawsuit for a violation of the Sunshine Act.
just so. The online notice trumps all the other advertising that we've done and that we do?
It could, it could.
What?
Do I think that's likely? No, I don't think it's likely, because I don't think it's likely that anybody would appeal this.
Right, but I mean, does that just apply to the zoning hearing board? Or does,
No, it would apply, so for example, and a minute ago when I said I was gonna use an example and I stopped myself. So for example, let's say that the city of York, decides to pass an ordinance. That ordinance is required to be advertised, at least 7 days, prior to a hearing of city council. If city council failed to post their agenda and then they passed the ordinance, without, in violation of the Sunshine Act, potentially somebody could sue to invalidate that ordinance, even though the city council advertised it in the newspaper, a week in advance.
gotcha, I understand that totally. I guess what I was asking, because we don't have to advertise anything for planning commission at all, because they're just a recommending board, and as well as for HARB. So I was having some issues putting HARB and planning commission from time to time on our website, hitting it, and then Teresa or somebody would call me and say, hey, it's not up there. Well, hey, I put it there and it just wouldn't take it. Now, this legitimately, was a miss here on the part, but what I'm saying to you is like those that would not be in violation of the Sunshine Act, correct?
So the Sunshine Act just reads that any municipal entity must post their agenda 24 hours in advance. But I think that with respect to, for example, a planning commission, it's kind of like a no harm, no foul, because they don't actually take official action. They're a recommending body only, and so, not that it's a good practice, but.
Right.
But I'm not sure that you could really invalidate anything. I'd have to do more legal research on that. But they're a recommending body only, so I'm not sure that there's anything really to invalidate technically.
Right.
Hey,
I'm sorry. The applicant has a question for me. 1 second, Andy. What was that? You can get up to the microphone, and then that way he'll be able to hear you.
question. So if I just say, let's just blow off the night and you guys do your thing, we're talking next meeting, 30 days.
Correct.
We all agree on, well, during everything passes tonight, and you have 30 days to repost it and to see if anybody.
No, he's saying that I should have to do the legal notice, just as we do the legal notice 2 Sundays in advance to
Right.
say that it's coming up. So just to,
So if the night went well,
yeah, if it is approved, then I can do the same thing. I can post it in the legal notices.
how long would that be?
Probably what, do I just have to post it 1 time, Andy, or twice, 2 Sundays?
I would post it, there's a provision in the MPC that I'll double check, but
And then what's the length of that? What's the length of that?
Wait,
You have to speak one at a time.
I'm sorry.
So, I'm sorry, Andy, what was that again? Gotcha. So I would just post it as, just as the, posting went, but just to say that on August, what's the date today? The, yeah, the 15th, that, the applicant at this address, gained approval for the variances or whatever. And then, it would just be in a case like, for instance, if the neighborhood didn't want something or whatever, that would be the only way that someone would appeal, correct? I mean, that's the kind of appeal you're talking about.
That's right, and what I would do, Nancy, is I would actually help you with that, advertisement, just to make sure that we're meeting all of the requirements
Okay,
of the MPC.
okay, cool. Thank you. Do you have any more questions?
Well, yeah, so again, if we do this tonight and everything goes well, I have to attend next month's meeting,
No,
which is not a big deal.
no. No, what would happen, what it is because, so let's say that somebody on Pine Street
Right,
would come here or would say to you,
Right.
wouldn't want you to build your Habitat for Humanity home there.
Right.
And you got approval. Because they could show, what it is because they can show up here at the meeting
Right.
and say that they don't want it or something, that they won't want it. But because the agenda wasn't posted online 24 hours in advance, even though the neighborhood people got it and it was been posted in the,
right.
in the newspaper, they didn't have an opportunity via online to come in and appeal. So if we advertise it in the paper that, after this, let's say you're successful, you go through with it, you're successful, you got approval for your variances, your setbacks and your, everything that you have, then, we post that, put that in the newspaper. If nobody comes to us and says, hey, well, we don't want that or whatever after 30 days, then you'll be okay. For the,
You just let me know in 30 days everything went well.
well, we wouldn't let you know anything at all. I can let you know, I can give you an email.
Because I can't apply for,
Let me also chime in,
Okay.
So this gets a little bit, there's some moving parts here. The 30 days is what's going to, sort of remedy the Sunshine Act violation, okay? That's how we're going to remedy that. Having said that, somebody has 30 days to appeal from the date of mailing of the findings and conclusions. In this case, I would hope to have those findings and conclusions out, middle to end of next week. So it's important to kind of keep the different timeframes in mind here. There are a couple of different
competing timelines. But anybody would have 30 days under the MPC to file a land use appeal, 30 days after the date of mailing of the of the findings of fact and conclusions of law. It does not look like you have a big crowd there today, so I don't anticipate that, but you never know.
So that's the norm anyway, regardless if this would even have happened. When you get your decisions, someone has 30 days. So
That's right.
So Andy, quick question. Worst case scenario, someone contests what happens tonight. Do we just come back and do it again? Or is there a long drawn out process now and it slows down the project?
That would probably be the easiest way to do it,
Just come back and do it again.
to be honest.
Redo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that would be the easiest thing. But again, I think that by advertising the decision after the fact, I think we alleviate that issue.
So it would make more sense just to have me come back next month's meeting? Or or do you see, I would like to go ahead and get him hopefully okay tonight, then, like I said, you guys let me know in 30 days or 45 days, hey, you're good to go, I can apply for a building permit.
that's your choice. That is sorry. That is your choice. If you want to come back next month,
No, I'm here.
then Monty will put you on the agenda for next month.
He's saying you want to go forward tonight.
Yeah, let me,
Well, no, he was asking that though. Should he just come back next month?
no, if we can we can get it approved tonight then yeah.
Yep.
Then you guys just let me know next month or 45 days, hey Brad, you're good to go. Go get your building permit.
Sounds good.
Can we do that?
Yes, that's fine.
I also have a quick
Looking at
question,
something
though.
here, I was looking on my,
I also have a quick question for the applicant. So just because the posting of it online is, again, also for our residents to quickly look and see it. So I just want to make sure no neighbors or anything have come to you openly opposed to it or this project or anything like that.
We mow the lot every week and stuff, and I've had people that say they're excited to see us,
Okay.
but
Thank you.
you never know. You never know.
I know one
Okay, so
thing,
with that, should I
if
read in the
either-
case?
If either one of two former city council members now retired lived in that block, I'd say all precautions should be taken, but they don't. Do you have like contractors ready to start right away?
Yeah, I do, but, I mean, Habitat, usually we self-perform a lot of our own work, we volunteers and stuff, so, it's mostly, we'll do our own framing and stuff with volunteers, but the excavation and the concrete work's done by subs. I mean, I have them lined up and all that, but, I mean, nothing happens till I get my building permit, so.
I mean, you know better than we do whether the possible problems,
Yeah.
remote as the possibilities
Yeah.
may be.
No, in my view, the best case scenario, we're under roof before it gets winter time. And then we can, during the winter months, we can work on the inside.
And do you think that goal would be jeopardized if we did postpone to the September meeting? I mean, the third week of September?
I mean, anymore, last 10, 15 years, it doesn't really get cold till late December, early January, so. And being in the city, that's gonna be a little bit warmer too, so. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is the situation we're in. You know, I gotta follow the rules and regulations and the direction and,
Well, but my understanding is that we will do what you request. It's your application.
right,
You paid through the nose for it,
yes.
and I trust you wouldn't be charged a second time.
No, we would actually just continue it and make sure that it was on the agenda for next time.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying again, and while I'm here, if we can go ahead and go through everything and hopefully it all gets approved, then you guys can repost it and then just let me know next month or 45 days. Everything's good on our end, then I'll apply for a building permit. So, yeah,
Sounds good.
I'm here, so.
How do you guys feel?
That sounds good to me.
If it's all right with the applicant?
Yep, I would defer to the applicant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here, and if it's good tonight, then I don't need to come back next month. Let's do it while I'm here.
To be honest with you, I'm more worried about World War III breaking out than I am about any problem in a couple of weeks or months over this, because, and did you say, now, I mean, this is not testimony that the case rides on,
No.
but have you established any contact with any of the neighbors in that block?
Other than say hi and
Just-
introduce myself,
And they have received a postcard notice,
yeah. I mean,
so,
yeah, the one lady directly across the street, she wanted me to do work on her house.
gonna be working on it.
No, she wanted me to do work on her house. She asked
Oh,
me
to
if I-
work on, oh, okay, yeah,
I used to be a contractor before I came to Habitat, so,
I see.
yeah.
Well, you would have a whole month to work on our house.
No, I kind of like semi-retired, and that's why I'm at Habitat to give back. I did it for 40 years.
Okay, so
Onward.
we're gonna move forward.
Yep. Want to read it in, Andy?
Get
I
it
will,
done.
I'll read in the
Andy,
case.
I
Yeah,
think,
this
I
is
think,
case
I think we
number.
all feel fairly comfortable in moving forward, if you would.
Before we move forward, I don't believe we've sworn the applicant in.
Mr. Sellers, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that, or affirm that the testimony you give here this evening will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Everyone has been duly sworn in. I presume that neither one of you ladies want to testify. Okay. Okay. Ready, Andy?
Okay, this is case number 26-2024-Z-V. The applicant and owner of the property is York Habitat for Humanity, with Mr. Brad Sellers appearing on behalf of Habitat for Humanity. The address of Habitat for Humanity is 33 South Seward Street, York, Pennsylvania, 17404. The subject property is located at 707 South Pine Street, which address is located in the RS2 Single Family Attached Residential Conservation District of the City of York. Applicant seeks 3 variances to enable a lot combination on which the applicant intends to construct a single-family dwelling. The proposed new lot will result in dimensions which do not meet the requirements of the City of York zoning ordinance. As such, applicant requests a variance to permit a new lot which is smaller than that permitted by the ordinance, a variance to permit setbacks which are smaller than that required by the ordinance, and a variance to permit a lot which is smaller than that permitted by the zoning ordinance. The application was reviewed by the planning staff of the City of York. The planning staff recommends approval of the requested variances related to the definition of multifamily dwelling conversion from a different, the planning commission staff recommended approval of the requested variances. I apologize. I caught myself there. The case, I did not get the minutes from the planning commission. Nancy, do you have that?
I do. Oh. I was thinking, yeah, because that was just Monday night this week.
Before we go further, can we just clarify the actual case number? My agenda says 27, the variance review says 26.
I went off the variance review. If Monty could clarify that, that would be
Yeah,
good.
it should be 26.
Okay.
So are you not
Okay.
on the, you should be in my group email for that, but I guess, I don't know, I sent out to the group, but when I sent it to Monty, you should be in this, with the zoning group. But I'll check, hold on.
If I got it, I missed it. I apologize.
Just sent it to you.
Andy, you were on the email. It was July 8th. Would that have been correct? Or was
No,
that, okay.
the
That one didn't
planning
come out.
commission was just Monday.
Yeah, that one didn't come out.
Yeah. So wait, they did recommend approval?
They did.
Okay. The record before the board this evening is consisting of an application, the deed to the subject property, a Department of Revenue statement of value, an aerial view of the subject property, a photo of the subject property, and 4 pages of site plans from Gordon L. Brown and Associates.
Thank you. Mr. Sellers, would you come to the podium, please, to the microphone? I think we're all pretty familiar with your organization, Habitat for Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I told Mr. Sellers when I came in that I had a story that I thought he would enjoy, and it's a short one. Back in August of 1993, when Hurricane Andrew hit southern Dade County, Florida, now called Miami-Dade County, they say the eye trucked right across southwest 152nd Street on its way to devastating the Metro Zoo. And there are two communities just south of there, Perrine and Cutler Ridge. I think in Perrine, there was heavy devastation. There were probably more houses with absolutely no trace of a roof than was part of a roof. And nobody had a whole roof. And a lot of other damage. The title of the story is The Little Houses on Guava Street. In the middle of all of this devastation, somebody pointed out in the middle of a certain block, there were 3 little houses. I think they even had the roofs. Very little sign of any damage. And somebody said, did the same developer build those? And they looked around and somebody said, no, they were built by Habitat for Humanity. I think that's a wonderful story, and it's true. Now, were there, at one time, do we know, were there are 2 addresses there?
Yes, there's 2 houses there.
There were 2 houses there.
Yes. Now, as I understand it, it's been 2002. The one on the left-hand side, which is probably 705, I would guess, was connected to those 2. And we're going to do a reverse subdivision too, but those 2 that were there was no setbacks. I mean, of course, it was connected on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, it was right on the property line of the house 711. So there wasn't no setbacks at all back then. So yes, that was. Now, I don't know if it was a fire loss or we get a lot of properties from fire losses donated to us. We're doing one out in Redline right now, and that was a fire loss. So, and then we did all the houses on Chestnut Street. We're doing 14 houses out on Chestnut Street. That was that fire loss from, I don't know what year, I think that was 2009 when all those row homes burned down. So.
Another question I have, and if I had studied the plan for the house closer, I wouldn't have to ask. But is there going to be any off-street parking at all?
Just in the front of it, yeah. No garage.
Off-street,
Yeah.
but there's nothing at the rear.
No.
I mean, and could there be? I mean,
No. The rear meets wherever's if there's a street on the back side of that. Yeah, those houses or yards are together.
Yeah.
Yes. No, there's no option for a garage or nothing like that.
And the width of the combined the new property, the width of the lot is going to be how much?
34 feet.
34.
Yes.
Okay, that's almost 2 spaces. Good space and a half, probably 2 spaces.
Yes.
Any other questions?
And just let you know, we build our houses to meet the composition of the family size. And that particular lady there, it's a single mother and her one child. So, yeah, just to let you know.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty pretty quiet street. Looks like a lot of parking there, at least from the satellite photos
Yes.
out on the street.
Yeah, there's 2 spots there, I guess, for each, the previous 2 houses. Now we'll just have the 1 house, so she'll have 2 parking spots or whatever, so, yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Well, Corey lives not too far away from there. I always picture South Pine Street. I mean, I was involved in the 100 block, and
Right,
when you're up there between Market Street and College,
right.
it's more, for lack of a better word, downtownish.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that in any derogatory way.
Right,
It's older,
right.
and I understand that when it was built, that to say I live in the 100 or 200 block of South Pine Street was something you weren't ashamed to say.
Yeah, it seems like a nice area. I mean, when I'm out there, no one's ever out. It's pretty quiet. And it's a pretty wide street too, so you can drive down. So yeah,
But then when you get down like
not much
guess,
further.
600, 700, 800 block, it's more transition.
Yeah,
And the lower end, I'm not sure how far it goes until it hits Raston, right? It's almost, it's practically Springdale.
yeah. Can I ask a dumb question?
No, there's no dumb question.
Sunshine Act, is that a Pennsylvania thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It's a pen.
The reason why I ask is
yeah.
my experience, I've built in probably 12, 15 different states, and then who knows how many counties and cities, so every time I apply for a permit or something, I go in and I think I'm doing the right thing, and they say, that's not how we do it here. So,
It's,
Yeah.
I understand that
yeah,
the state of Florida was the first one in the country to
yeah,
have it.
that was, okay,
And it has spread
yeah.
to be pretty common across the
Yeah,
country.
my last,
Of course.
before I retired, semi-retired, I used to build hotels for Hilton. I traveled the country a lot building hotels, so,
Unfortunately, sunshine laws are usually written in such a way that
yeah,
really important things that you ought to have a right to know about are considered, no, you
Yeah,
can't,
yeah.
unless you jump through a whole bunch of hoops. But I guess the law
No.
is better than nothing.
no, I mean,
Would someone like to offer a motion? Are there any other questions?
We already talked about the neighbors. Sounds like everyone you've spoken with is,
I spoke to the one on the right-hand side just once, but the lady across the street a bunch, because she keeps wanting me to fix her house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, you sure you can't do my house? Yeah, I'm sure. I got some other stuff I gotta do for Habitat.
And I'll just point out for the record that these, of course, are dimensional variances, which carry a slightly lesser burden than the use variances. Also, as such, because they are all dimensional variances, I am okay if somebody is inclined to make a motion to handle them all singularly and simply make a motion to approve the requested dimensional variances. Again, because they're not use and because they're all very similar in nature, I think it's appropriate if somebody wants to do it that way. But that's up to you all.
Are we ready for that?
We are, I think.
In case 26-2024-Z-V, I'll move to approve all dimensional variances.
Second, It's been moved by Mr. Nugent and seconded by Williams to approve the three dimensional variances in the application. Calling for the vote. Mr. Klein.
Aye.
Klein, aye. Mr. Carden.
Aye.
Carden, aye. Mr. Nugent.
Aye.
Nugent, aye. And Williams, aye.
Now we wait. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to tell you when we
In all
started.
honesty, the wait
My
will
hunch is
really
we can-
essentially,
my hunch
because
is
I'm
we
going to
can
get
approve
these.
you in 25 minutes or an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer?
Well, good.
We did the 25 minutes, and I don't think we actually took that long. I think the preliminaries took long.
So how will I know in 30 days, 45 days that I am good to go?
We will call you and let you know.
Here's what's going to happen. You will get a decision, a written decision in the mail. And frankly, Mr. Sellers, because I intend to have that decision out by probably Monday or Tuesday, the timing of the 30 days is almost going to line up almost identically. So by the time you get that decision, on that decision, there will be it'll say date of mailing, and it'll probably say, the 19th or 20th or whatever the case may be. Basically count 30 days from then, and you'll be more or less in the clear at that point.
Okay. So I guess if I want to go ahead and proceed with building permits, that's my own risk and own cost and.
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's exactly right. You now have the approval. Permits can be issued at this point, but if you move forward with those permits, you're doing so what we call at risk.
I understand.
Somebody could still appeal the decision. I don't want to tell you that it's not going to happen, but
Right.
in my experience with the York City Planning or York City Zoning Hearing Board, we don't get a lot of appeals. And typically, the only time we get an appeal is if somebody has shown up at the meeting to object and didn't get the result that they like.
Yeah, I'll have to weigh the cost of achieving the building permit. If it's, $10, that's one thing. If it's going to be 2,000, that's a whole different thing. Habitat, we're a nonprofit, so we're not rolling in the money.
Yeah.
We
Right.
have to watch every dime we spend, so. All right, that's good.
And I'm sure you've already heard it, but I'll sign on to it too. On behalf of the city, I apologize for the problem.
No.
But these things happen.
This is my 41st year. I've had all kinds of stuff happen, and 20 residential, 21 commercial. So, yep, I've seen it all, heard it all, and it is what it is.
Thank you for the work you're doing with Habitat.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Any other comment from the board?
Sir.
We can be adjourned.